Welcome back to the Amplify Your Voice podcast. If you listened to our last episode, then you already know that my conversation with Toyin Crandell was far too good to end there. There was so much more we wanted to explore, so today we bring you an exclusive part two of our conversation. Toyin, welcome back. It's so good to have you here again. We left our last conversation with so much more to unpack, and I'm excited to continue where we left off. So if you're joining us for part two, settle in because we're going deeper into the conversation. And I have a feeling that there are going to be a few more gems for you to take away. Toyin, let's pick up right where we left off. Subconsciously, we are limiting how much we can earn.
Correct.
We by default.
We say we want more, but we don't really want more.
We don't want.
Pray, God, please provide. God, please give. God, I want to be a kingdom financier. God, I want this. God, I want that. But we don't really want it because if we got it, we think we would be rejected. And sometimes we are rejected. Like there are many people. When I started making money, when I started running my business with intentionality, when I started talking about bills and talking about money, I remember a group of friends literally had an intervention with me.
Wow.
They were like, Toyin, are you still saved? Because I was an evangelist. I was talking, they're like, you used to preach the gospel. Now you're talking about money and bills and like, do you still love Jesus?
Wow.
Even till I think it was 2 years ago, someone had a conversation with me again and was like, Toyin, we were friends a decade ago. Toyin, do you love Jesus? Do you still love Jesus? Look at you with your business. And it's like, why is it that because my business is actually making money, because I'm actually talking about money, it has to mean that I don't love Jesus anymore?
So people can't say that you're compromising because they don't know your heart posture, because you can be serving God, but at the end of the day, we're serving a God of abundance. So for
Correct.
that person that wants to overcome the people-pleasing and the approval addiction when it comes to then stepping into their calling and purpose, what would you say to that person?
Number one, you have to know how much you are stuck in people-pleasing. Like, you don't even understand how much you are in that place of people-pleasing. Most people, we actually have a free quiz that helps people to determine, how much of a people-please, how much do you care about people's opinions? That's number one, because you need to know whether this is like emergency. When I came into business, it was an emergency. And the reason I found out, I didn't have a quiz back then that I could do, but the reason I found out was because my husband kept saying it to me, like, Toyin, why do you care so much about what they think? Like, and I noticed between me, so not every Christian is like this, but a lot of us are. But I remember noticing, like, my husband, he needs to make a decision. He's going to do this or that. He would just do it. But me, I'll be thinking, I'll be stressed. I'll take my time. It's so long. And he's like, why are you like this? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm like this. And I did a personality test. And I remember the influence, it was the DISC test, and my influence marker was very high. But the influence marker goes both ways. It's both, you know how to connect with people and influence others, but you are also very influenced by people and you care a lot about people. You care about what they think about you. And I remember literally I used to pray in the beginning of the business, God, help me to not care so much what people think about me. God, help me to not care so much what people think about me. And then part of what I did was in my book, Radical Obedience, I challenged myself to obey. Like, for those of you guys some of you guys listening, you already know there's a problem here. You care too much. You don't do what God's telling you to do. For those of you guys, I will tell you right now, one of the biggest antidotes to the fear of man is obedience to Jesus. If you can put him in front of your eyes, if you can remember the Garden of Gethsemane, if you can remember what he did so that you could be saved, if you can remember the worth that he placed, like what the sacrifice that he made, these people did not die on the cross for you. These people are not the ones that you're going to stand in front of when you die. These people are not even thinking about you most of the time. And yet we're so concerned with what we think they think about us. And so I think about what Peter said to the leaders in Jerusalem. He said, is it right for us to obey man who can only impact our physical bodies, who can only kill our physical body? Or should we obey God who can both kill our physical body and throw our soul in hellfire? And that was his answer. Like, who are we supposed to obey? I think about Paul's words in the book of Galatians, where he said, am I going to please men or am I going to please God? Because if I was still going to please men, I would not be a bondservant of Jesus Christ. Like, I had to place these scriptures in front of me to say, God, give me the grace to do what you said to do, no matter what people think. And the more, I'm telling you guys, and I had to learn to hear the voice of God. I needed to hear, what is God saying for me to do? Because that's the thing about when you care about people's opinions, their voice is loud in your ear. That's all you're hearing. Well, you should go here. And in fact, we'll go seek them out. God tells you to do something. Who's the first person we'll go call? Pastor. We'll go call husband. We'll go call friend. We call. Once everybody has said, yes, that resonates for me. Yes, I feel like that is what the word of the Lord is. Then we say, oh, God has confirmed what I'm supposed to do. Then we step out. And the Lord, like, I pray, and I used to pray and I'll be asking the Lord, God, teach me. I want to have a relationship with you like Moses did. Literally, that is one of my top prayers of life. God, I want a relationship with you like Moses, where Moses spoke to you face to face. So many scriptures in Numbers and Exodus where it's like, and God said to Moses, and Moses did, and Moses said to the Lord, and God said to Moses. And I would pray these prayers, God, I want to talk to you like Moses did. And he's like, Moses had habits of obedience. You have habits of disobedience. I talk about this in our Radical Obedience book. You have habits of disobedience. Like, if you want me to talk to you like I spoke to Moses, but you don't do what I told you. With Moses, I tell him and he does. With you, I tell you, and you must have 8 confirmations before you do. So who's holding up the relationship, me or you? Because I'm talking, but are you listening? And are you willing to trust the still small voice? And it was funny because the first time he tested me on this, like so many times, he's like, will you trust my voice? I'm not asking you to ask nobody else. Will you trust my voice? The first time he tested me on this was with who I would marry. He's like, I'm praying, God, should I marry this guy? And every other time he had made it very clear, no. And then with Josh, he was like, still small voice, yes. And I'm like, oh, no problem. I'm going to fast for 7 days. I'm going to call all my friends. I'm going to call my mom and ask her. I'm going to ask my sister. And the Lord said to me, what did I tell you? Like, if I've given you the yes, why do you? I said, God, don't start with marriage. Teach me this lesson with what I'm going to wear for the day tomorrow. Teach me this lesson with all this other. And he's like, I have already been teaching you how to hear my voice. Will you accept what I've said before you ask for anybody else's opinion? And till today, I'm so grateful because that decision, I think, is a big part of what God used to set me free to do what we've done. Like the amount of suffering we've been through in our marriage, talking about like poverty, struggle. We lost a pregnancy because of the financial struggles. The amount of ministry work we've done together. We've been in the trenches. Sure. And then you know that there's some marriages where you make a lot of money and the money destroys the marriage. Like right. There becomes conflict around the money. And for us, we've like been to the bottom, we've been to the top. And the one thing that like I know in my life is there is a safe place in this marriage. And it came from that one still small voice. Yes. Yeah, this is the person. I don't even know where we're going, but that's what I got.
We are going to the still voice, discerning God's voice, but not stopping there, but executing the instruction once we hear His voice.
Correct.
That is where the obedience part comes in. So can you speak to those that can hear His voice but still struggling to execute?
Woo, girl. Oh, we about come for it now. Okay. So first thing I'm going to say is this. For those of you guys, if you don't know how to discern the voice of God, we're going to share a link with y'all at the end of this episode, okay? Y'all run to that link if you are not sure how to discern the voice of God. But even more greater, if you are someone who walks with the Lord, you know what he's telling you to do. In fact, you've known for some time and you watch yourself hold back from obedience. You, more than the first person, need to run to that same link, hear God's voice. It's going to be in the thing, in the description, and get that training. It's a simple training, but I talk about both things. How do you hear? How do you execute? Now let me answer your question. One of the biggest things that we need to deal with if we are serious about implementing God's word and walking in obedience is being willing to face the fear that we have. So there's two challenges that people have when it comes to obedience to what God has said. The first one is timing, not understanding timing. And a lot of the time when we don't understand timing and we start to try to obey God outside of timing, you now end up fighting battles that weren't supposed to be there, but they're there because it's not the time. And you need the discernment to be able to tell not just what did God say, but when is God saying to do that thing? There's certain things that God has shown me, and God will say, Toyin, this is the vision, and I'm ready. I'm like a goal person, right? Like execution. God, show me what it is. Let me run. For 2 years, the Lord said, Toyin, your business is in transition. 2 years, your business is in transition. God, show me the transition. I'm ready. Let's transit. What are we doing? And for 2 years, he's like, you're not doing all of that. It's this much, this much, this much. And we would do this. And then it was last year where he was like, now you're going to change your entire business model. You're going to pivot. You're going to this, you're going to that. And everything had to happen within a 1 month span. I was like, oh my gosh. But I knew that was the Kairos time of the Lord to shift the way I had been doing business for almost 8 years at that point. And I had to do it now. Whereas for 2 years, he had been saying, it's coming, it's coming. And can you imagine hearing something, it's coming for 2 years, and just being patient to continue to be faithful with what's in front of you right now, knowing that when it's time, he will let me know this is the timing. And when we obeyed him and shifted the model within that Kairos window, our business revenue skyrocketed again. So that's number one, is getting clear and knowing how to discern timing. And we talk about it in that course. Then the second thing that really holds people back from radical obedience is fear. All kinds of fear. Whether it's the fear of what people will say, which we've already talked about in extent, or it's the fear of success. What if I do it and it actually works and it pulls me away from God, or I can't handle that responsibility? I remember having one of my team members, this was years back, and she did something amazing in the company. She just killed it in a certain job, a function. And I highlighted it to her. I was like, girl, you killed it. Like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, she started making a lot of mistakes. And so I checked back in. I'm like, what just happened? And she said, I don't know. I feel like I've been holding back ever since you did that, because I don't want to be held to that standard. And I don't know if I can maintain that standard. So I'm just trying to hold back so that you don't think that I need to produce at that level. And I said, if it's in you, it's in you. And we had to break the mentality of that fear of, can I sustain what I've already started? And when she broke that mentality, she actually didn't just sustain what she had started. She built better than that over and over. Like I would literally coach her and be like, you can create better. A lot of us don't even know our own capacity. A lot of us don't know what God has placed on the inside of us. So fear of success, for some of us, it's the fear of what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? So because we're afraid of what if it doesn't work, we don't want to do it. Or we do it half-heartedly. And we do it half-heartedly so that we can say, God, I did what you said to do, but in your heart of hearts, you didn't really do it. You know what I mean? Like, God told me when I was coming into business, he said, Toyin, I didn't know it was going to be business. I thought he wanted me to be a full-time missionary, with a little bit different from, I was already in full-time ministry. But it was 7 months of the year, and then, or I forget which it was, whether it was 5 months or 7 months, but one half of the year I was in ministry full-time, no work. And then the other half of the year I was half ministry, half working. And God said, you're going to be we're changing things. And I thought he meant it was going to be 12 months of full-time ministry. And one of the things he said to me back then was, the thing I'm about to place you in next, you're not allowed to say it didn't work until you've done it for 10 years. You're not allowed to say it did not work until you've done it for 10 years. And then he unfolds that it's this business that we're doing. And remember what I said in the beginning of this conversation. In the first 6 months of this business, we couldn't buy food, became homeless, blah, blah, blah. And the only thing in my head was like, I know what God said. He said, I'm not allowed to say it didn't work until I've done it for 10 years. So for some of us, that fear of the disappointment is what keeps us from the obedience. And I actually talk about that in the Radical Obedience book. What do you do? Because there are going to be things that look like failure. There are going to be things that are disappointment. And the way we handle the disappointment determines whether or not we'll do the next thing God tells us to do.
If it's in you, it's in you. I'm still chewing on that, but please continue.
No, the last one I'll say, because there's so many things that I talk about in the course that hold people back from obedience. But in terms of fear, is the fear of, oh man, it came out of my head. So we talked about the fear of other people's opinions, the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection. So feeling like if I do it, I'm going to be different and I'm going to be rejected. And we're built as tribal people. We're built for community. We're built for connection. And so when we feel that fear of being different, many of us don't obey. But read the Bible. Read the Bible. Every single person that God was calling to do something, he was calling them to do it in the middle of a generation that were living in a completely different way. Think about Abraham, leave your father's house and go wherever I send you. Think about Gideon. Everybody's in fear. Everybody's under oppression. Gideon, you're going to get up. You're going to raise up an army. You think about Moses. Moses is chilling by himself in Midian with his wife. He's gone away from Egypt. Moses, you're going to come back and you're going to remove the slave mentality. He had to remove them from Egypt and try to remove the slave mentality from a whole generation of people, 4 generations in. You think about Paul. Paul is a Jew. He's with the Pharisees. He's against the Christians. And God says, not only am I going to save you, but I'm going to call you to go and preach the gospel. Then God tells Paul wasn't just now rejected by his old crew because now he became a Christian. As a Christian, God tells Paul, I'm calling you to the Gentiles. So now the Christians are mad at, what are you doing, Paul? What do you mean you're going to the Gentiles? The gospel is for the Israelites, it's for the Jews. And Paul is having to push this new revelation at a level that other people around him hadn't. And that's what has blessed us today. There's so many examples in scripture where every time God is calling you to do something, he's calling you to stand out and be different. And many of us, let's make this practical. Can we bring this to today, 2026?
Let's do it.
Many of us, all God has asked you to do is the business, the new job, the new industry, whatever the thing he's asked you to do, and to talk online, to go tell people about it. Just open your mouth and talk. Just talk. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't like how I look on camera. I don't like, they're going to think that, they're going to say, someone told me, Toyin, your accent, you don't know how to say the word, because one of my videos, I said millionaire. I say millionaire a lot. This woman said, you don't know how to pronounce the word millionaire. Little things like that we're afraid of, that someone is going to notice your accent. It was a Black woman too. I remember just being like, okay, sis. All right, sis. And I said, thank God, whether I know how to pronounce millionaire or I don't know how to pronounce millionaire, thank God I have millions in my bank account. That's what matters. And that's my thing, is like, we're so caught up thinking about what are they going to say about my accent, about how I look, about this, about that, that we're not willing to obey. And that is the core. Like, if we can get radically obedient, if we can get to a place where it's like, there's a song I wrote and it goes, I am whoever you say I am. I'll do whatever you say I'll do. I'll go wherever you say I'll go. I should go. I am your child, and that's my identity. Until we can get to that place of, I am who you say I am. I'll do what you say to do. I'll go where you say to go. I am your child, and that's my identity. We cannot fulfill the fullness of what God has for our lives. Can I give an example here? Because yes, I think people see me as a millionaire today, and they're like, yeah, that's easy for you to say, Toyin, because God called you to business. And now look at you, you're a millionaire, da.
Yeah.
And what I want to say, guys, is God called me to preach on the streets for 3 years.
Yeah.
And almost every other month, I had conversations with my father, my parents, with my family, like, Toyin, what are you doing with your life? You got a whole degree. You said you were going to be a doctor. My dad's a pastor. He's not against preaching the gospel. My dad has traveled to 92 nations preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. He cares about evangelism. He cares about getting the gospel to the people who have not heard the gospel. But he couldn't understand, how is it that you just graduated? He's like, Toyin, I'm a chemical engineer. I've done the work. I have a career behind me. You just graduated and you're wasting your life. Time is going. Every day you're going downtown. You're sitting with them. Like, what are you doing? And he said it out of love. He said it out of genuine care. And I love my dad. We have such a tight, my whole family, we're so tight. And I respect my dad so much. Like, he has always supported us. I've tried not to cry. Like, I love this man. This man has poured into us. He woke us up 6 a.m. He would teach us for an hour before he sent us to school. He had poured so much into us. And the fact that God didn't tell him what God told me. And I remember I used to pray back then, God, you talk to this man. He prays more than I pray. He hears your voice so clearly. I'm like, God, tell him that you sent me to do this work. And God didn't do that. For 3 years, he was like, what are you doing, Toyin? And I had to learn how to say, I love you, I honor you, I respect you. And I would be crying. Every time my dad would speak to me, I couldn't have a conversation with him without crying, because he just didn't get it. And I couldn't explain it. And I just kept repeating, I have to do what God said to do.
Yeah.
This is what I feel God has said to do, and I have to do it. And people will spit on me while we would do spoken word, and we're sharing, and there's crowds of people and they're dancing, and then we'll preach the gospel. We'll do music, and then there'll be a crowd, and then we'll preach the gospel. And it was just beautiful, but sometimes people spit on you. Sometimes people throw stuff, and you just stay faithful. And I think people see me today and they think that I'm obeying because now it's glamorous. Now it's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, you can live in Mexico and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I obeyed when he said to do this. I obeyed when he said to run for office. I obeyed when he said to go to Cambodia and sit with women in the slums. I've tried my best to follow his leadership wherever he sends me.
That's good.
And he just happens to have me in business at this season of my life.
Because if it's in you, it's in you.
Correct.
It's exactly what he placed inside of you, regardless.
Exactly.
Toyin, you've been such a blessing today. Wow, such powerful, powerful moments that you shared. Divine testimonies. For those of you that was blessed by what Toyin has shared, I would invite you to go to the description section and to go click on the Hearing God's Voice course, and as well as go check out Toyin's books. because the seed has been planted. And if you want to grow and you want to learn more about hearing God's voice and also business, I would definitely invite you to partner with Toyin and just to go and listen. Sometimes I also receive emails from Toyin, and then there was one video that you made about emotional eating. I clicked on the YouTube video. I said, no, Toyin, you did not just record this right now. What is this doing in my inbox? So she clicks into your inbox and the message comes at the right time. So when you sign up, you also get all the emails. It's not generic emails. Sometimes it creeps out. How did you know I was thinking that? You part. I'm like, oh yes, Toyin's email coming through again.
Yeah.
So you've been a blessing to me personally. I honor you. I thank God for your life. I pray that the work that you are doing will continue to multiply, that lives, thousands, millions of lives will be continued to be transformed through your message and what God has placed on the inside of you. And in closing, if it's in you, it's in you.
It's in you. Come on now. Come on now. Thank you so much, Megan, for having me on your podcast. It has been an absolute blast. And I just echo everything Megan has said. If you want to shift financially, the link is in the chat. If you want to learn how to hear God's voice, the link is in the chat. How to obey, the link is in the description.
Yes.
And I would love to see y'all there.
Thank you for listening to the Amplify Your Voice with Dr. Megan Brainer's podcast. Take what resonated with you, sit with it, and pray into it. The next couple of episodes, we'll be focusing on prophetic publishing, author brands, and legacy platforms. Until next time, keep showing up in obedience, and remember, when you mind His business, He takes care of your business.